Haribol, Haribol. Okay, now we'll start a little bit late, but still we're starting. Haribol. Where is Kirtan Prabhu?
After hours and hours, that is called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. Shri Radha, Shri Hare, 2 times. So especially our, I don't know if in another Anvitamscha Vishesha So this title is in fact globe. It was the most momentous contrast. Is it? He's now we pure devotee, already a prophecy. The idea is that he came. So okay. So kripa koile kripa. So this is actually the same tune as Hari Doyal Mo Jaya Radhanath. That song. Bodo kripa koile Krishna Adhamera prati. Bodo kripa koile Krishna Adhamera prati. Ki lagi anile hai tha Koro ebe gati. Ki lagi anile hai tha Koro ebe gati. So this is the first stanza, and this time at least there's a little preparation in the lyrics as well here. It's big, I think it's easy to see. So this is the verse 1. So what is this? Bodo kripa koile Krishna adhamer prati kilagiya nile hetha koro ebe gati. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. Look at this. He calls himself a useless soul. He said, I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. So adhamer, adhama. Adham means
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Magnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वाकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृद्यन्दस्तो यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नस्तप्रायस्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktirbhavati Naistiki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so now we continue the reading session. Text number 32820. Tashmin labda padam chittam sarvavayavav samstitam vilakshaikatra samyujyad ange bhagavato muni. Tasmin, on the form of the Lord. Labdapadam, fixed. Chittam, the mind. Sarva, all. Avyayav, avayava. Oh, what is that? Avayava, limbs. Samstitam, fixed upon. Vilakshya, having distinguished. Ekatra, in one place. Samyujyat, should fix the mind. Ange, on each limb. Bhagavata, of the Lord. Munihi, the sage. Translation. In fixing his mind on the eternal form of the Lord, the yogi should not take a collective view of all his limbs. In fixing his mind on the eternal form of the Lord, the yogi should not take a collective view of all his limbs, but should fix the mind on each individual limb of the Lord. That's interesting. Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Muni is very significant. Muni means one who is very expert in mental speculation or in thinking, feeling, and willing. He is not mentioned here as a devotee or yogi. Those who try to meditate on the form of the Lord are called Munis, or less intelligent, whereas those who render actual service to the Lord are called Bhakti Yogis. The thought process described below is for the education of the Muni. In order to convince the yogi that the absolute truth or supreme personality of Godhead is never impersonal at any time, the following verses prescribe observing the Lord in his personal form, limb after limb. To think of the Lord as a whole may sometimes be impersonal. Therefore, it is recommended here that one first think of his lotus feet, then his ankles, then the thighs, then the waist, then the chest, then the neck, then the face, and so on. One should begin from the lotus feet and gradually rise to the upper limbs of the transcendental body of the Lord. Text number 21. Sanchintayed Bhagavatas Charanāravindam Vajran Kushadvaja Saroruha Sanchintayed Bhagavatas Charanāravindam Vajran Kushadvaja Saroruha Lanchahandyam Uttungarakta Vilashana Chakravala Yochna Birahatamahadridayandakaram. Sanchintayed, he should concentrate. Bhagavata, of the Lord. Sharanāravindam, of the lotus feet. Vajra, thunderbolt. Ankusha, goat. Rod for driving elephants. The Vaja, banner. Saroruha, lotus. Lanchana, marks. Adyam, adorned with. Uttunga, prominent. Rakta, red. Vilasat, brilliant. Naka, nails. Chakravala, the circle of the moon. Yojnabi, with splendor. Ahata, dispelled. Mahat, thick. Hridaya, of the heart. Andakaram, darkness. Translation. The devotee should first concentrate his mind on the Lord's lotus feet, which are adorned with the marks of a thunderbolt, a goat, a banner, and a lotus. The splendor of their beautiful ruby nails resemble the orbit of the moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart. Purport. The Mayavadi says that because one is unable to fix his mind on the impersonal existence of the Absolute Truth, one can imagine any form he likes and fix his mind on that imaginary form, but such a process is not recommended here. Imagination is always imagination and results only in further imagination. A concrete description of the eternal form of the Lord is given here. The Lord's soul is depicted with distinctive lines resembling a thunderbolt, a flag, a lotus flower, and a goat. The luster of his toenails, which are brilliantly prominent, resembles the light of the moon. If a yogi looks upon the marks of the Lord's soul and on the blazing brilliance of his nails, then he can be freed from the darkness of ignorance in material existence. This liberation is not achieved by mental speculation, but by seeing the light emanating from the lustrous toenails of the Lord. In other words, one has to fix his mind first on the lotus feet of the Lord if he wants to be freed from the darkness of ignorance in material existence. Text number 22. Yachaucha nishtracharit pravaroda. Oh, what is this? Let's try again. Yachauva nishrita sarit pravarodakena tirtena murnadikritena shiva Put Dhyaturmanah Shamala Shailani Shrishta Vajram Dhyayet Shiram Bhagavatas Charanaravindam. This one was really hard. Tirte Namur Muryatika Atikritena Shivashi. Yet the Lord's lotus feet, Saucha washing Nishrita, gone forth, Sarit Pravara of the Ganga, Udakena by the water, Tirtena holy, Murni on his head, Adikritena borne, Shiva Lord Shiva, Shiva auspicious, Abut became, Dhyatu of the meditator, Manaha in the mind, Shamala Shaila, the mountain of sins, Nishrishta, hurled, Vajram, thunderbolt, Dhyayet, one should meditate, Chiram, for a long time, Bhagavata of the Lord, Charana Ravindam, on the lotus feet. Translation. The blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy waters of the Ganga, which has its source in the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord's feet act like thunderbolts hurled to shatter the mountain of sin stored in the mind of the meditating devotee. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time. Purport. In this verse, the position of Lord Shiva is specifically mentioned. The impersonalists suggest that the Absolute Truth has no form, and that one can therefore equally imagine the form of Vishnu or Lord Shiva, or the goddess Durga, or their son Ganesh. But actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Master of everyone. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Ekaleishvara Krishna Arasha Babritya. The Supreme Lord is Krishna, and everyone else, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, not to mention other demigods, is a servant of Krishna. The same principle is described here. Lord Shiva is important because he is holding on his head the holy Ganga water, which has its origin in the food wash of Lord Vishnu. In the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, by Sanatan Goswami, It is said that anyone who puts the Supreme Lord and the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, on the same level at once becomes a Pashandi or atheist. We should never consider that the Supreme Lord Vishnu and the demigods are on an equal footing. Another significant point of this verse is that the mind of the conditioned soul, on account of its association with the material energy from time immemorial, contains heaps of dirt in the form of desires to lord it over material nature. This dirt is like a mountain, but a mountain can be shattered when hit by a thunderbolt. Meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord acts like a thunderbolt on the mountain of dirt in the mind of the yogi. If a yogi wants to shatter the mountain of dirt in his mind, he should concentrate on the lotus feet of the Lord and not imagine something void or impersonal. Because the dirt has accumulated like a solid mountain, one must meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for quite a long time. For one who is accustomed to thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord constantly, however, it is a different matter. The devotees are so fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord that they do not think of anything else. Those who practice the yoga system must meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time after following the regulative principles and thereby controlling the senses. It is specifically mentioned here, Bhagavata Charanarvindam. One has to think of the lotus feet of the Lord. The Mayavadis imagine that one can think of the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, or the goddess Durga to achieve liberation. But this is not so. Bhagavata is specifically mentioned. Bhagavata means of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and no one else. Another significant praise in this verse is Shiva. Shiva Shivo Bhut. By his constitutional position, Lord Shiva is always great and auspicious. But since he has accepted on his head the Ganga water which emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord, he has become even more auspicious and important. The stress is on the lotus feet of the Lord. A relationship with the lotus feet of the Lord can even enhance the importance of Lord Shiva. What to speak of other ordinary living entities? Text number 23. Janudvayam jala jalochanaya janaya Lakshmiya kilasya suravanditaya vidatu Urvor nidaya karapallavarochi sayat Samlalitam hridi vibhora bhavasya kuryat. Word to word. Janudvayam, up to the knees. Jala jalochanaya, lotus-eyed. Jana Jananya, mother. Lakshmya, by Lakshmi. Akilashya, of the entire universe. Suravanditaya, worshipped by the demigods. Vidatu, of Brahma. Urvo, at the thighs. Nidaya, having placed. Karapallavarochisa, with her lustrous fingers, yet which some lalitam message, massaged. Hridi, in the heart, Vibho, of the Lord, Abhavasya, transcendental to material existence, Kuryat, one should meditate. Translation. The yogi should fix in his heart the activities of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, who is worshipped by all demigods, and is the mother of the Supreme Person, Brahma. She can always be found massaging the legs and thighs of the Transcendental Lord, very carefully serving him in this way. Purport. Brahma is the appointed Lord of the universe. Because his father is Karbodakasa Vishnu, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is automatically his mother. Oh, I never heard this. Lakshmi ji is worshipped by all demigods as well as by the inhabitants of other planets. Human beings are also eager to receive favor from the goddess of fortune. Lakshmi is always engaged in massaging the legs and thighs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is lying on the ocean of Garbha within the universe. Brahma is described here as the son of the goddess of fortune, but actually he was not born of her womb. Brahma takes his birth in the abdomen of the Lord himself. A lotus flower grows from the abdomen of Garbhodakasa Vishnu, and Brahma is born there. Therefore, Lakshmiji massaging of the thighs of the Lord should not be taken as the behavior of an ordinary wife. The Lord is transcendental to the behavior of the ordinary male and female. The word abhavasya is very significant, for it indicates that he could produce Brahma without the assistance of the goddess of fortune. Since transcendental behavior is different from mundane behavior, it should not be taken that the Lord receives service from his wife just as a demigod or human being might receive service from his wife. It is advised here that the yogi always keep this picture in his heart. The devotee always thinks of this relationship between Lakshmi and Narayana. Therefore, he does not meditate on the mental plane as impersonalists and Vaidis do. Bhavaha means one who accepts a material body, and Abhava means one who does not accept the material body but descends in the original spiritual body. Lord Narayana is not born of anything material. Matter is generated from matter, but he is not born of matter. Brahma is born after the creation, but since the Lord existed before the creation, he therefore has no material body. Haribol, Hare Krishna, Rishikesh, Prabhu, Tandar Param, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Prabhu, do you want to read few verses? You have like 20 minutes or 15. Yeah, 20 minutes left.
Yes, Prabhu, I can read. Text 24. Guru Suparnam Vijayo Desho Gumanva Ojanidhi Atashika Kusuma Bhavasu Vyalambi Pitavar Vara Vasasi Vartamana Kanchi Kalpa Pariram Nitamba Vivam Guru. The two thighs supernal of Garuda Pujayo, the two shoulders Adi on Shobhamanu, beautiful Oja Nidhi, the storehouse of all energy, Atashika Kusuma, of the linseed flower, Avabhavasu, like the luster, Vyalambi, extending down Pita yellow, Vara exquisite Vasasi on the cloth, Vartamana being Kanchi Kalappa, by a cradle, Parirambi encircled Nitamba Vibham is rounded lips translation. Translation purport by John Christus Uttanam Sample Purport KJ. Translation. Next, the yogi should fix his mind in meditation on the personality of Godhead's thighs and therefore and the storehouse of all energy. Lord's thighs are whitish blue like the luster of the linseed flower and appear most graceful when the Lord is carried on the shoulders of Garuda. Also, the yogi should contemplate upon his rounded hips, which are encircled by a girdle that rests on the exquisite yellow silk cloth that extends down to his ankles. Purport. The personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all strength, and his strength rests on the thighs of his transcendental body. His whole body is full of opulences, all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. The yogi is advised to meditate upon the transcendental form of the Lord, beginning from the soles of the feet and then gradually rising to the knees, to the thighs, and finally arriving at the face. The system of meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead begins from his feet. The descriptions of the transcendental form of the Lord is exactly represented in the Archavika, the statue in the temples. Generally, the lower part of the body of the statue of the Lord is covered with yellow silk. That is the Vaikuntha dress or the dress of the Lord or the dress the Lord wears in the spiritual sky. The cloth extends down to the Lord's ankles. Thus, since the yogi has so many transcendental objectives on which to meditate, there is no reason for his meditating on something imaginary as it is practiced for the so-called yogis whose objective is impersonal. Text 25. Radham Bhuvana Kosha Kuhodarastam Yatratnayoni Disha Isham Ishanakila Lokapadam Vidam Harimani Prashasthanayor Amusha Jayadvayam Visada Hara Mayukha Gauram Nabhiridam, the navel lake, Bhuvana, Kosha of all the worlds, Guha, the foundation, Udara on the abdomen, Stham situated Yatra where Atma Yoni of Brahma, Dhisana residence, Akhila Loka containing all planetary systems, Padamon, Lotus Vyudham sprang up, Harit Mani, like emeralds, Risha, most exquisite, Sthanayo of nipples, Amushya of the Lord Dhyayet, he should meditate on Dvayam, the pair, Vishada, white hara of pearl necklaces, Mayukha, from the light, Gauram, whitish translation. The yogi should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. From his navel, which is the foundation of the entire universe, sprang the lotus stem containing all different planetary systems. The lotus is the residence of Brahma, the first created being. In the same way, the yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, as which resemble a pair of the most exquisite emeralds, which appear whitish of the rays of the milk white pearl necklaces adorning his chest. The yogi is advised next to meditate upon the navel of the Lord, which is the foundation of all material creation, just as a child is connected to his mother. The yogi is advised to next to meditate upon the navel of the Lord, which is the foundation of all material creation. Just as a child is connected to his mother by the umbilical cord, so the firstborn living creature, Brahma, by the supreme will of the Lord, is connected to the Lord by a lotus stem. In the previous verse, it was stated that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who engages in massaging the legs, ankles, and thighs of the Lord, is called the mother of Brahma. But actually, Brahma is born from the abdomen of the Lord, not from the abdomen of his mother. These are inconceivable conceptions of the Lord, and one should not think materially. How can the father give birth to a child? It is explained in the Brahma Samhita that each limb of the Lord has the potency of every other limb because everything is spiritual. His parts are not conditioned. The Lord can see with his ears. The material ear can hear but not see. It cannot see, but we understand from the Brahma Samhita that the Lord can also see with his ears and hear with his eyes. Any organ of his transcendental body can function as any other organ. His abdomen is the foundation of all planetary systems. Brahma holds the post of the creator of all planetary systems. But his energy is generated from the abdomen of the Lord. Any creative function in the universe, which always has a direct connecting link with the Lord, the necklace of pearls, which decorates the upper portion of the Lord's body, is also spiritual, and therefore a yogi is advised to gaze at the whitish luster of the pearls decorating his chest. Text 26. Vaksho vasam rishabhasya mahi vibhute pumsam nayana nivrittim adha dhanam kantam cha kaustubha maner adi bhushan bhushan bhushanartham कुर्यान् मनस्य अखिललोका नमस्कृतस्य Vaksha, the chest, Adi, Rasam, the abode, Rishabhasya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavibhuti of Mahalakshmi, Pumsam, of fortune, Mana to the mind, Nayana to the eyes, Nivritti, transcendental pleasure, Adathanam, restoring Kantam, the neck, also Kaustubhamani of the Kaustubha gem, Adi, Bhushana Artham, which enhances the beauty
Bro, can
Koryatish.
you read louder because voice is very low, bro.
Yes, Prabhu. Now can you hear Prabhu? The Bhushana Artham, which enhances the beauty Kuryati should meditate on Manasi in the mind, Akhila Loka by the entire universe, Nama Kritasya, who is adored. Translation: The yogi should then meditate on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the abode of Goddess Mahalakshmi. The Lord's chest is the source of all transcendental pleasure for the mind and full satisfaction for the eyes. The yogi should then imprint on his mind the neck of the personality of Godhead, who is adored by the entire universe. The neck of the Lord serves to enhance the beauty of Kaustubha, which hangs on his chest. Purport. In the Upanishads, it is said that the various energies of the Lord are working to create, destroy, and maintain. These inconceivable varieties of energy are stored in the bosom of the Lord. What is the meaning of bosom?
It's like
Abroman.
the chest.
Oh, okay, bro. As people generally say, God is all powerful. That prowess is represented by Mahalakshmi, the reservoir of all energies, who is situated on the bosom of the transcendental form of the Lord. The yogi who can meditate perfectly on that spot, on the transcendental form of the Lord, can derive many material powers which comprise the eight perfections of the yoga system. It is stated herein that the beauty of the neck of the Lord enhances the beauty of the Kaustubha gem rather than vice versa. The gem itself becomes more beautiful because it is situated on the neck of the Lord. A yogi is therefore recommended to meditate upon the Lord's neck. The Lord's transcendental form can either be meditated upon in the mind or placed in a temple in the form of a statue and decorated in such a way that everyone can contemplate it. Temple worship, therefore, is meant for persons who are not so advanced that they can meditate upon the form of the Lord. There is no difference between constantly visiting the temple and directly seeing the transcendental form of the Lord. They are of equal value. The advantageous position of the yogi is that he can sit anywhere in a solitary place and meditate upon the form of the Lord. A less advanced person, however, has to go to the temple, and as long as he does not go to the temple, he is unable to see the form of the Lord, either by hearing, seeing, or meditating. The objective is the transcendental form of the Lord. There is no question of voidness or impersonalism. The Lord can bestow the blessings of the transcendental pleasure upon either, you can scroll down, Prabhu, the visitor of the temple, the meditator, yogi, or one who hears about the Lord's transcendental form from scriptures like the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita. There are 9 processes for executing devotional smaris, of which smaranam or meditation is one. Yogis take advantage of the process of smaranam, whereas bhakti yogis take special advantage of the process of hearing and chanting. Text 27. बहुंश्च मन्दरगिरे परिवर्तनेन निर्निक्ता बहुफलयन् अधिलोकफलं सञ्चिन्तयेत् दशशत अस्य तेज संघं च तत्करा सरोरा राजहंसम् Bahun, the arms and Mandara Gire of Mount Mandara, Parivartanena by the revolving, Nirin, Nirinta of polished, the arm ornaments Adilokapalan, the source of the controllers of the universe, Sanchintayat. One should meditate on the Shashata Aram, the Sudarshana disc, 10 spokes. Ashya, Teja, dazzling, luster, Sankham, the conch, Cha, and that in the Tatkara in the hand of the Lord. Saroha, lotus like, Raja Hamsam like a swan. Translation. The yogi should further meditate upon the Lord's forearms, which are the source of all the powers of the demigods, who control the various functions of material nature. Then the yogi should concentrate on the polished ornaments which were burnished by Mount Mandara as it revolved. He should also duly contemplate the Lord's discus, the Sudarshan Chakra, which contains 1,000 spokes and a dazzling luster, as well as the conch, which looks like a swan, in his lotus-like palm. Purport. Purport. All departments of law and order emanate from the arms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The law and order of the universe is directed by different demigods, and it is here said to emanate from the Lord's arms. Mandara Hill is mentioned here because when the ocean was churned by the demons on one side and the demigods on the other, Mandara Hill was taken as the churning rod. The Lord, in his tortoise incarnation, became the pivot for the churning rod, and thus his ornaments were polished by turning of Mandara Hill. In other words, the ornaments on the arms of the Lord are as brilliant and lustrous as if they had been polished very recently. The wheel in the hand of the Lord, called the Sudarshan Chakra, has 1,000 spokes. The yogi is advised to meditate upon each of the spokes. He should meditate upon each and every one of the component parts of the transcendental form of the Lord. Text 28. Prabhu,
So,
is my voice
Prabhu,
clear, right?
one please. I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Me, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, if Lord takes the form of a tortoise, then his ornament was polished. So, this is the description of form of Vishnu, which is being described. So, how? So, is it the same Lord Prabhu? As tortoise also and as Vishnu also, his ornament is the same.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, the tortoise also has the ornaments, I think. There must be a picture.
Okay. Thank you.
Prabhu, is my voice clear, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
No, it is not, I mean to say, very less, right?
No, it's good, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, okay. Text, next one, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, the ornaments are like the same. Okay, next one.
Yes, Prabhu. Text 28. कौमोदिकं भगवतोऽत्यदयितं स्मरेत् दिग्धम् अर्ति बत शोणितकर्दमेन मलं मधुवृता वरुथा गिरोपगुस्तं चैत्यस तत्त्वम् अमालं मणिम् अस्य कण्ठे कौमोदकीं a club named Kaumodaki Bhagavata of the personality of Godhead, Daitam, very dear Smarit. One should remember Diktam, smeared arati of the enemy's Bata soldiers, Sonita Karadamena with the bloodstains, Malam the garland, Madhurita of bumblebees, Parata of a swarm, Gira with the sound. You can scroll down, Prabhu. Upa Ghustam surrounded Chaitasya of the living entities, that entity, Tattvam principal truth, Amalam pure Manim, the pearl necklace Asya of the Lord, Kante on the neck. Translation: the yogi should meditate upon his club, which is named Kaumodaki and is very dear to him. The club smashes the demons who are always inimical soldiers and is smeared with their blood. One should also concentrate on the nice garland on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees with their nice buzzing sound. And you can scroll down, Prabhu. One should meditate upon the pearl necklace on the Lord's neck, which is considered to be the pure living entities who are always engaged in his service. Purport: the yogi must contemplate the different parts of the transcendental body of the Lord. Here it is stated that the constitutional position of the living entities should be understood. There are two kinds of living entities mentioned here. One is called the Arati. They are the averse to understanding the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, the Lord appears with his hand clutching the terrible mace, which is always smeared with bloodstains from it his killing of demons. Demons are also sons of Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all different species of living entities are sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are, however, two classes of living entities who act in two different ways. The Supreme Lord keeps those living entities who are pure on his neck as one who protects the jewels and pearls on the boson and neck of one's body. Those living entities in pure Krishna consciousness are symbolized by the pearls on his neck. Those who are demons and are inimical towards the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are punished by his mace, which is always smeared with the blood of such fallen living entities. The club of the Lord is very dear to him because he uses this instrument to smash the bodies of the demons and mix their blood. As mud is kneaded with water and earth, so the earthly bodies of the enemies of the Lord or the atheists are smashed by the club of the Lord, which becomes muddied with the blood of such demons. Text 29. Prityanukampita dhiyeha grihita murte sanchintayed bhagavato vadanarvindam यद्विष्पुरान् मकरकुण्डलं वल्गितेन विद्योत्थितामलकपोलम् उदरनाशम् nasam. Britya offer the devotees anukampita diya out of compassion here in this world. Grita Murte, who presents different forms. Sanchintayet, one should meditate on Bhagavata, the personality of God, Vadana, countenance, Aravindam, lotus like. Yad which Puran glittering, Makara alligator shaped kundala of his earrings, Valgitena by the oscillation, Vidyotita illuminated, Amala crystal clear, Kapolam his cheeks, Udara prominent, Nasam his nose. Translation: the yogi then should then meditate on the lotus-like countenance of the Lord who presents his different forms in this world out of compassion for the anxious devotees. His nose is prominent and his crystal clear cheeks are illuminated by the oscillation of his glittering alligator-shaped earrings. Purport: the Lord descends to the material world out of his deep compassion for his devotees. There are two reasons for the Lord's appearance or incarnation in in the material world. Whenever there is discrepancy in the discharge of the religious principles and prominence of the religion, the Lord descends for the protection of the devotees and the destruction of the non-devotees. When he appears, his main purpose is to give solace to his devotees. He does not have to come himself to destroy the demons, for he has many agents. Even the external energy Maya has sufficient strength to kill them. But when he comes to show compassion to his devotees, he kills the non devotees as a matter of course. The Lord appears in the particular form loved by a particular type of devotee. There are millions of forms of the Lord, but they are one absolute, as stated in the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achitam Anadim Anantarupam. All the different forms of the Lord are one, but some devotees want to see him in the form of Radha and Krishna, others prefer him as Sita and Ramachandra, others would see him as Lakshmi Narayan, and others want to see him as 400 Narayan Vasudeva. The Lord has innumerable forms and he appears in particular form as preferred by a particular type of devotee. A yogi is advised to meditate upon the forms. You can scroll down, Prabhu. Upon the forms that are approved by devotees. A yogi cannot imagine a form of meditation for meditation. Those so-called yogis who manufacture a circle or target are, can scroll down, Prabhu, engaged in nonsense. Actually, a yogi must meditate upon the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that has been experienced by the Lord's pure devotees. Yogi means devotee. Yogis who are not actually pure devotees should follow in the footsteps of devotees. It is especially mentioned here that the yogi should meditate upon the form which is thus approved. He cannot manufacture a form of the Lord. Text 30. Niketam alipi परिसेव्यमानं भूत्या स्वया कुटिला कुन्तला वृन्दा जुष्टं मीनाद्वा यष्ट्रयम् अधिक्षिपात् अब्जनेत्रं दयेन मनोमयम् अतन्त्रिता उल्लासद्भ्रुः yet which face of the Lord Sri Niketam, our lotus, Ali B by peace Parisevyamanam surrounded Bhutya by elegance via its Kuttila, Curly Kuntala, of hair Rinda by a multitude, Justam adorned Mina of fish by a pair Ashrayam, dwelling Adikshpat, putting to shame Abja a lotus Netram having eyes, the eighth one should meditate on Manamayam, formed in the mind, Atyandrita, Detta, attentive, Ullasa, dancing, bro, having eyebrows, yogi. Translation: the yogi then meditates upon the beautiful face of the Lord, which is adorned with curly hair and decorated by lotus-like eyes and dancing eyebrows. A lotus surrounded by swarming bees and a pair of swimming fish would be put to shame by its elegance. So, Prabhu, actually, I had a question. Uh, actually, the I meant to say the earrings that the Lord wears, is it of the form of alligator?
I think it's shark shaped.
Oh, okay, Prabhu.
At least
Nice.
in Damodarashtakam, it is shark shaped earring.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, actually, here in Maharashtra, there is a form of Lord. I think I told you about it. It's of Lord Vittala. In that, actually, Prabhu, it is of a fish.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it's like shark kind fish. Yes, I think, Prabhu. That's right.
Translation, Prabhu.
Oh,
Peaceful translation. But one important statement here is Dhyayena Manomayam. Manomayam is not for imagination. Impersonalists think that the yogi can imagine any form that he likes. But as stated here, the yogi must meditate upon the form of the Lord, which is experienced by devotees. Devotees never imagine a form of the Lord. They are not satisfied by something imaginary. You can scroll down, Prabhu. The Lord has different eternal forms. Each devotee likes a particular form and thus engages himself in the service of the Lord by worshipping that form. The Lord form is depicted in different ways according to. You can scroll down, Prabhu. According to scriptures. As already discussed, there are eight kinds of representations of the original form of the Lord. These representations can be produced by the use of clay, stone, wood, paint, sand, etc., depending upon the resources of the devotee. Manomayam is a carving of the form of the Lord within the mind. Is included as one of the eight different carvings of the form of the Lord. It is not imagination. Meditation on the actual form of the Lord may be manifested in different manners, but it should not be concluded that one has to imagine a form. There are two comparisons in this verse. First, the Lord's face is compared to a lotus, and then his black hair is compared to humming bees swarming around the lotus, and his two eyes are compared to two fish swimming about. A lotus flower on the water is very beautiful and surrounded by humming bees and fish. The Lord's face is self-sufficient and complete. His beauty defies the natural beauty of a lotus.
Caribou, last one, Prabhu. It's short purport.
Yes, Prabhu. Text 31. तस्यैव लोकम् अधिकं कृपया तिघोरा तपात्रयोपश्यमान निश्रितम् अक्ष्णौ स्मितानुगुणितां विपुलप्रसादं ध्याये चिरं विपुलभवनाय गुह्यं तस्य of the personality of Godhead. Avalokam glances Adhikam frequent Kripaya with compassion, Atigora most fearful Tapatraya, threefold agonies, Upashamanaya, Manaya, soothing, Nishratam, cast, Akshno, from his eyes. Nikta, loving Smita, smiles. Anugunitam, accompanied by his eyes, accompanied by Vipula, abundant. Prasadam, full of grace. Jayet, he should contemplate Chiram for a long time. Vipula, full. Bhavanaya, with devotion. Guhyam, in the heart. Translation: the yogi should contemplate with full devotion upon the compassionate glances frequently cast by the Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most fearful threefold agonies of his devotees. His glances, accompanied by loving smiles, are full of abundant grace. Purport: as long as one is in conditioned life in the material body, it is natural that he will suffer from anxieties and agonies. One cannot avoid the influence of material energy, even when one is on the transcendental plane. Sometimes disturbances come, but the agonies and anxieties of the devotees are at once mitigated when they think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His beautiful form or the smiling face of the Lord. The Lord bestows innumerable favors upon His devotee, and the greatest manifestation of His grace is His smiling face, which is full of compassion for His pure devotees. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai Shri
Krishna
Prabhupada.
Viraj Prabhu Dandat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada, Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Prabhu, actually, can you, I want to say, give a little bit summary of it?
Yes, Prabhu, we can try see it together. 328. We read 12 text.
I think it was from 320, right? We started.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, today it was mostly description of the form. Different forms. It started explaining the different marks, how to distinguish the Lord. Then there was thunderbolts. The Lord's name acts like thunderbolt on the sins stored in the mind, and they are like the mountain, dust mountain. Then it was explained Lakshmi is like mother of Lord Brahma. Yeah, it was the different parts that the yogi should focus his mind. Yogi should fix his mind on the person of Godhead, the beginning from the feet. Yeah, here it was continuous. Then the navel, and then eventually the head. Yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, which resemble a pair of most exquisite emeralds, and which appears whitish because of the rays of the milk-white pearl necklaces adorning his chest. Then he should meditate on the goddess Mahalakshmi, because the chest is the source of the transcendental pleasure. The yogi should then imprint on his mind the neck of person of God. So like this, it was one by one up to the head. And then the Kaustuba gem is explained that only the Lord has the Kaustuba gem, and he's distinguished with that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then all the different paramphilia that the Lord has, and it was said that one should not meditate all these collectively. He should one by one meditate on the body parts, because otherwise it might become impersonal understanding if one tries to understand everything at once. So now it was explained here how one by one can concentrate his mind. Then at the end, it's the beautiful face. We finished that. And then the smile was described, how it acts. And yeah, we finished like that. Then we continue from 32.
And there was a description of tortoise also.
Yes, Prabhu. which part it was. Oh, I can find it.
So, Swami Prabhu, I have a question from third canto, 27 chapter, 18th verse purport. So, Babu, you read this purport. This purport is confusing little bit, bro, for me.
The example is given here that anything material has an aroma. The flower, the earth, everything has an aroma. If the aroma is separated from the matter cannot be identified. If there is no taste for matter, if there is no taste for water, the water has no meaning. If there is no heat in the fire has no meaning. Similarly, when there is want of intelligence, spirit has no meaning. Yes, Prabhu, so this earth, because there is 5 elements, water, fire,
I
earth,
mean, of
heat.
this last portion mean similarly when there is want of intelligence, spirit has no meaning. What it means, Prabhu?
It means that without consciousness, there is no spirit. It means that anything living must have intelligence. This means when there is lack of intelligence, there is no spirit.
Oh, yes.
It's
So
just
Mother Devati is asking Lord that how can a living entity be out of entanglement when he is uh, still in body?
yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it's like that. He's asking how even in this body we can understand the Lord. And there cannot be consciousness without intelligence, or intelligence without consciousness. So this verse tells how artificial intelligence cannot be intelligent, because there is no consciousness. Okay, Haribol. Now we go to 6 Astakam prayers. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादवाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम नाम गाय भक्तान सर्वशक्ति तत्र अर्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन काला एतादृशीत कृपा भगवान् ममापि दत्तैव मे देशमिहायन्नानुरागः तृणादपसुनिजेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानेन अमानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दत्तनुजकिङ्करं पत्तं मां विस्मयभां वधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थित धूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदारुदया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति
युगायिदं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रवृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरह मे
Aslishya vapataratam pinashtu mamadarshanan marmahatam karotu va yata tata va virata tulampato mat prananatastu saevana paraha. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names. Like Krishna and Govinda, in these names, transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy name. But I am so unfortunate that I have no tricks for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking once a Lord and the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have not desired to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire a beautiful woman, nor do I want a number of followers. I only want your costliest devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. At somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly? When I chant your holy name, when will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on the end at the excitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and his side remains so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or make me broken hearted by not being present. For me, he is completely free to anything and everything. For he is always my worshipful Lord, but unconditionally.
Haribol, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Yeah.
Bahujan
भोजन
Kare
करे
Adishwan
यदि
Kirtan. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
भोजन करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तो बुत न पाए कृष्ण पते प्रेम धन. If one is infested with 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate core of this chanting. First offense is to blaspheme the devotee who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of name of the Lord Vishnu. Third offense is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master or to consider him as an ordinary person. Fourth offense is to
Fourth
blaspheme.
offense is yes, Prabhu, yes.
Yes, Prabhu, you can continue.
To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of Vedic origin.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Sixth offense to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth opens it to consider chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as product activities Karma Kanda.
Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th opens to not have complete faith in chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema.
Haribol.
I offer my respectful obeisance and to all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone just like the jet tree, and they are full of compassion for the fallen soul.
Vancha
Vansha kalpatarubhyascha
Panchakalpatarubhyascha
kripa sindhubhyascha pattanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaः. अनंत कोटि वस्तु वृंद की जय.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Sorry for the late starting today. But thank you for joining and reading. It was really nice. Okay, Prabhu. See you tomorrow.